Hopefully I don't have seaweed all over my mouth and in my teeth. If you do, don't judge me. If you do, that's okay. But I'm Khamsin, the Untamed Oracle. I am a Akashic record reader, and I have a message that I was going to go live and deliver on Substack, but it just so happened that I was already on here and got confirmation. So I got about 15 or 20 minutes to get this channel message out. As you can see what I posted, my question is, are we being invaded? Because we have 3-eye atlas. All right. Oumuamua was the last most recent one. These asteroids are not asteroids. These asteroids, based on the communication that I have had with galactic elders, these asteroids are actually surveillance motherships. These, I want to make sure you all can hear me. Actually, surveillance motherships. These, I want to make sure you all can hear me. Let me get this out. Okay. So these are motherships that are here because of what's happening on the planet. I don't know if we really know the gravity of what's happening on the planet, but what happens on Earth don't stay on Earth. It impacts the entire galaxy. And there are civilizations and other star systems, Sirius being one of them, who are more evolved than we are. So they act as a form of guardian for the collective on Earth. Now, when a certain level of bloodshed starts to happen, it sends a beacon signal out. Mother Earth, she's a mother. So if there is a lot of bloodshed happening, Mother Earth is going to send out a signal. And that signal is sent out and it is received by the galactic elders, the ascended masters who are ruling within the star system. A lot of ancestors who reached a level of enlightenment act as guardians for Earth. It is also my personal theory and belief that one of those people would be Michael Jackson, which is the reason that he had the ability to make people pass out just by being in his presence. He was a fragment of what we know to be the Archangel Michael, meaning he carried the vibrational frequency of an archangel, which is why he went through so much. Okay. We're in a fallen state on 3D planet Earth. 3D, third dimension, is a lower frequency of consciousness. So we're trying to exist in a environment that is dense, and there are these invisible hands behind the curtain of Oz who are socially engineering, constructing, and planning specific events for the specific purpose of altering the timeline. This is the reason it's a huge hawk flying right in front of me. So beautiful. But it is a reason that was a sign. It is a reason that they want to dominate and control the masses here. And that reason is because of this. Any soul that comes to Earth is a soul that's in what we would call an ascension program. And when you are assigned to Earth, when you are assigned to experience various forms of traumas, a lot of difficult things, you have guardians who will make sure that they watch over you. Oftentimes, they cannot interfere. This is because of our free will, even though it's quote unquote free, it kind of isn't. It's going to cost you something. Speaking up is going to cost you something. Being authentic is going to cost you something. Exercising your free will to say no is going to cause you something. And so because a lot of us may be disconnected from spirit and disconnected from our own soul because it has been fragmented by many lifetimes of different experiences that fragmented our consciousness. This is no different than the MK Ultra program, where the mind was studied and you could fragment the consciousness of the human mind, and we end up creating these different personalities that we use in different situations. And this is something that we call code switching. So this is something that we have all experienced on a spectrum. So with that being said, with everything that is happening, though it may seem like you aren't important, you are very important. And a lot of the ships that are stationed around Earth right now are here to watch over us and to assist us when the time comes. I do feel that a time is coming where we're going to need this assistance. There is an uprising that is unfolding at this moment, and there is an attempt to call the uprising before the uprising takes place. This is happening because of also what happened in Hawaii. The homes that were destroyed in Hawaii. When these things are happening, the land is going to send out a clarion call to the galactic elders of that watch over us and guard us. The blood of our ancestors does not stop communicating with the universe because they are no longer in physical form. Actually, the opposite happens. They are more capable of communicating, not being in this heavy, dense physical form, and they're able to travel multidimensionally. So there are many different things happening at one time. And when you factor into all of that, you have the Divine Nine, you have the 13 bloodlines, you have the Merovingians, you have the list just goes on and on. There's so many families that are connected to ancient Babylon, ancient Rome, ancient Greece, even ancient Egypt. And so they have like these, they've constructed these councils, the Council of 13. It's so many. It's a whole pyramid of these societies of bloodlines of people that orchestrate a lot of world events. And so the thing that's really interesting is that in the Bible, in the Old Testament, it talked about iron being mingled with clay. Well, when the King James came out in 1611 to 1616, because he was studying demonology before he wrote the Bible, which is really interesting too. King James went through a lot. He went through a lot of trauma. Like shit that no TV show or movie can touch, he went through. Okay. And he could win the Trauma Olympics if you hadn't studied King James' background. That's probably not the best person to use as the only instruction for your life here. However, he talked about iron being mingled with clay, and that is synonymous with transhumanism. Now, who knew about transhumanism in the 1600s? How did they know? How did they know? Right? So what happens is when you study the art of magic, manifestation, being able to bring something from the unseen realm to the seen realm, there are different ways that you can accomplish that. One way that you can accomplish that is by implanting a belief in the minds, and the more minds that have this belief and the more generations that have this belief, because it's inherited. These are inherited beliefs. And so it epigenetically grooms people to accept this belief as a truth, though something inside your soul is saying it does not resonate. And this creates cognitive dissonance. This creates internal conflict, and you start to feel like two people, and you can't quite figure out why you feel uncomfortable with church. You feel uncomfortable with slaves should obey their masters being in the New Testament of a book that's called the Biblios Helios, which means the book of the sun, but that same book says that astrology is demonic. So why would the book be named after the sun? You see, it creates confusion. And so that keeps the soul disconnected from your day-to-day experience. And when you're connected to your soul, you're not in survival mode. So they use these things to keep us in survival mode, to keep us disconnected from the soul, which is the SOL, soul, which is the sun. So this is the inner sun. This is the central sun. This is the black sun that's within each and every one of us. You can stare at the sun, close your eyes, and you will see a black dot inside of your third eye. That is the black sun, the spiritual sun, the central sun. Okay, and so we also have a sun in our solar plexus, in our stomach, and this is the reason that the gut is often under attack. So with what's happening with our food, food is data, food is frequency, food is vibration. And so you could literally eat something that's going to put your body in fight or flight. Your body is going to think that it's in survival mode. If you eat food that has calories, but it lacks nutrients and minerals and vitamins, your body biochemically becomes confused and goes into survival mode. This disconnects you from your soul. So you can't hear your I divine self, or Ori goes into survival mode. This disconnects you from your soul. So you can't hear your I divine self, or Ori. Okay. So yes, I froze up my phone temperature as I was talking about the sun. My phone's temperature got too high and it cut off. So picking back up where I was, I'm gonna put this replay either on my YouTube or my Substack. So just check out the links in the bio, because you're gonna want to replay this, because I'm saying this fast and I'm gonna speed up in this channel message. So with that being said, if what you're eating is putting you in survival mode, then it's making it harder for you to get these connections. Now, this morning, I went into a trance and started speaking. And it began as a light language that turned into a conversation that I was having with my galactic council, who I have had many experiences with. And I've seen UFOs my whole life. Like, that's not a strange thing for me. I think sometimes our mind and our third eye is so calcified, the pineal gland is so calcified, that we have a hard time believing things unless we see and experience them ourselves. And so I had those experiences, but we were in a conversation, and they were basically saying that the timelines that are in front of us were created like ages ago. But the difference now is that we have access to information that we didn't have before. And so we're actually going to be the generation that's going to branch off of this version of Earth and create a different version of Earth that's not going to be based in fear. But we're being tested right now. So even though, yes, there is an invasion, but they aren't all malevolent. Some of them are benevolent. Some of them are here to help us. But the way that they help us is not by using lasers like in movies and shit like that. It is by sending out beacons of information, transmitting messages on a level that's going to require your nervous system to be regulated to receive. And so this is why I've been going really hard talking about this, because a lot of us are not treating our bodies as if they're living altars. We're not treating our bodies as if they're the third temple. It is. Do you know how profound your body is? Do you know that you are the microcosm of the macrocosm? Do you know that everything that we see in space is also inside of you? Do you know that everything that exists in inner Earth, everything that existed in Atlantis, Lemuria, and Mu is now consciousness that is inside of you? Do you know that every single pantheon, every deity, every Netta, Netaru, every god, goddess, Orisha is an element of consciousness that you can tap into that exists inside of you? This is what religion wanted to bind. The definition of religion is to bind. Because we have exited the age of Pisces, which was all about creating belief systems to dominate and control the masses. Now that we're breaking free of that, and we're discovering that there are a lot of things within our own selves that are actually the solutions to the things happening in our lives and in the world. We are the solution. And for those of us who are experiencing negative thoughts, self-doubt, low self-confidence, low self-esteem, lack of motivation, a lot of it is what's happening with the gut. This is where the second sun is. So I highly recommend you look into something called moxibustion. Moxibustion is basically using mugwort, and you're smoking certain acupressure points to remove dampness from the body. I'm not a healthcare professional, but I'm speaking from experience, and I'm speaking on a spiritual, metaphysical level. This is something that can help clear your energy field of entities, thought forms, and attachments. And we pick those up when we go out throughout our day, throughout our life, and some of these entities were inherited. So what scientists call epigenetics, which is something that happened in the environment that was traumatic to a person, and it leaves a cellular imprint within the molecular structure of our body. Now, that also has a spiritual component, because there are entities who have to manage that particular trauma and the impact that it had on us. And so the goal of that entity is to keep us in a mindset that will allow them to stay alive. Because if we change our mindset and we purge this energy from us consistently, that entity no longer has a house to live in. The house, aka being you and your energy field. And so as a lot of these things are happening and we're learning how to heal ourselves and remove these parasites that feed on our energy, it is clearing our ability to call for help from the galaxies that are outside of the Milky Way. So this was the reason that I did several decodings I'm going to mention here, where I go deep into the galactic cosmology based on teachings from the Dogon tribe, based on my personal experiences after my near-death experiences. I'm someone who has left my body twice and made a new soul contract to come back here and complete my mission, which is really unique. And I have the decoding on my Patreon for just $1, and it is called The War on Consciousness. I did part 1, 2, and 3. Also, take note of this, so when you go to my Patreon, you can scroll back and watch these decodings. I also have the lambda decoding. Lambda, the lamb, is your pineal gland, okay? So in the Bible, before the Mandela effect, it said that the lion and the lamb shall lay together. That is no longer in the Bible. It now says that the wolf and the lion shall lay together. There was never a wolf there. There was a lamb there. The lamb represents the pineal gland, but the lamb also represents those of us who are considered to be goyim, as they would say in Kabbalah. We're useless eaters. We're people who are unconscious, here simply eating and taking up space and using resources. There are some interdimensional beings who are giving orders, and this is the way that they feel about us. But there are also our guardians who know that we are very important and we are much more than that. So with all of these different things occurring at one time, since 2006, I have been making these predictions based on my dreams, remote viewing, astral travel, and lucid dreaming. And I predicted it all accurately. You can go back and check it out if you can find it. But over 250 of my videos were deleted. They were prophecies. They have come to be true. So I put all of those on my Patreon as well. And so what you will learn will help you to connect in your own life so that you're able to make contact. So this is not the fifth contact. This is not the sixth contact. You remember all of those movies, and they made the people seem crazy for believing that extraterrestrial beings, could come to Earth, and it's really not crazy. Okay, this filter is crazy. But I am able to keep my vibration high because I am aware of these things. So if you lack awareness, you lack knowledge, you're going to lack power, and it's going to be more difficult for you to anchor yourself as a grid worker and create a specific frequency that is going to allow us to shift from the dystopian timeline to a utopian timeline, which is what the two wars are happening right now. And that's also called the bifurcation. That's called the bifurcation of Earth. I talked about this a lot on my Patreon as well as my old YouTube channel. And so that basically means that we're being split into two completely separate groups. One group is going to be more focused on hatred and division, power and domination using force. And the other group is focused on the opposite. The people that resonate with my fractal of energy that I give out are those who are here to create an ascension timeline. That means that your journey is going to be unique. Your journey may be difficult. Your journey may not look like anyone else's, but it doesn't mean that your journey is wrong. So I'm going to make sure that all of the links are available. They should be in the bio or description. I'm going to repost this live. I want y'all to take notes. Go and do your own research. Don't take my word for it, even though I have been 100% accurate. But just know that with the invasion that is happening right now, things are about to get really interesting. And it's okay if you're sad. It's okay if you're overwhelmed. It's okay if you're an empath and you're hypersensitive to a lot of the things that are occurring. All of those things are okay. You don't have to feel bad about that. You don't have to feel bad about being sick and fatigued and having to get into bed early or struggling. Like all of the things that we feel bad about, that is the program ego that was programmed inside of us through multi-generational trauma. That's not who you are. That's the identity that you were given. And because of all of these things, we are going to see frequency wars, mind wars, where people's minds are being hacked, and people are one person one moment and a completely another person another moment. And this is why self-awareness is the key. You want to be so hyper aware of yourself that you don't need anybody else to check you and to tell you, hey, why you talking to me that way? Hey, that hurt my feelings. Hey, this is a pattern that I'm noticing, and it's not healthy. It's toxic. You at some point you want to get to a point that you have mastered yourself, so you don't need external events to happen to get you to see yourself. Shadow work is so important. So really soon, I'm going to post this just free, even though I do have a Sacred Sister Coven where specific things will be for people that are ready to do this work, as far as the somatic portion of this work, and really to go deeper into turning your body into a living altar so that you can have communication at any time through the spirit realm. But I'm going to post one of the mirror rituals that I use to call forward my wounded inner child and my shadow self to talk to me, because they have a lot more information than I do in my conscious mind. And my subconscious mind is basically the mind that holds the key to every single thing, to every and anything that I want to know. So as people are crashing out, melting down, shutting down, flipping out, as the system is crashing, as people are losing hope, as people are giving up, there is going to be a set of people who are going to feel catalyzed to rise. They're going to feel catalyzed to be different. So don't be afraid to be different anymore. Be different. Be who you are. It is okay. And for anybody around you who may not be in this level of consciousness, that's fine. Just make sure that you don't get over attached about it, okay? Because that's your ego as well, just trying to survive. And maybe you don't feel comfortable when you feel misunderstood by people around you. So these are some of the things that you can use. And I'm also going to mention the 9-year Mayan prophecy calendar that I posted on my Patreon as well. And it tells you prophetic events, things to watch out for, and the way these energies are going to be shifting us from carbon-based being to crystalline being, which basically means that our light body is being activated. It's actually called a diamond body. And I received confirmation on that this morning when I went into a trance and was receiving this download. So as that diamond body is being activated, diamonds are created by what? Pressure. So the reason that it seems like so much wickedness is being allowed to happen is because that pressure is activating the diamond body within those who are here to change things. All right. So let me know if this resonated. I will repost this later. And Yeah, I appreciate y'all. You know, take this information and use it. Don't let me just be entertaining you. Don't let yourself be used by the system. Use the system to elevate.